Hi friends, strangers, internet. My name's EmilyHanhan. I love colorful makeup and colorful language. And I'm here today to do a little bit of a swatch party and 2 eye looks featuring my new Adept Cosmetics single shadows. I recently made a purchase through Adept Cosmetics after, if I'm being honest, lusting after some of their singles for quite a long time. And I've had these, actually they're not that new to me. I've had them for a couple of weeks. I've been playing around with them and I thought I would do a little bit of talk through in terms of my feelings about them. I'm going to attempt to do some Audra style arm swatches. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, let's just do this thing. So I did a build your own palette with the Adept palette builder. I was really excited about this size palette because their black croc palette that holds 63 shadows it's just beautiful. This is a white croc palette. It has a mirror inside with Adept printed along the bottom, which is quite nice. I know I'm showing it to you upside down. And then I purchased, so in the palette builder, I did a 10-pan palette builder and then I added another 8 shadows because I wanted as many diamond shadows as I could get my grubby little paws on. So the palette builder has some of the diamond shades in there, but a lot of them are not. So I got, I think, 4 diamonds there and then 6 mattes and then the remaining diamonds I bought separately. I think I grabbed this on there was a sale. There's definitely a sale. So maybe I've only had it for about a week now. Oh, time is a construct. I've had it for long enough. I played with them in lots of different ways. So yeah, so I want to go through and swatch these for you, although I don't have, let me go grab something to wipe my fingers off on before I start swatching and getting myself covered in makeup. I'm a little better equipped now. And so what I'm gonna do is go through and we're gonna start with the matte swatches and then we'll move on to the diamond swatches. I have never done this before. This is not as easy as Audra makes it look. So here are the mattes that I picked up. So my experience with the matte so far have been less than perfect. I'm going to show you what I think is the best technique that I've found to work with them, and that is a bit similar to working with some pastel shadows that I've have in my collection, and that is going in with a white primer. So I have this LA Girl Pro Primer, and this has given me the most pigmentation. Adept was very, very nice. I reached out with some criticisms about the mattes and they refunded me for the cost of the mattes. So I'm not feeling quite as, I guess, frustrated. I'm not saying that this is their form. Like, I'm not saying that everyone will hate these or that maybe they're not worth trying. I would just say if you're interested, you might have better luck with more neutral shades, or you might have similar luck to me. I'm not sure. They did refund me for that cost, so I appreciate that. Adept is super supportive in the community. They tend to follow a lot of smaller creators. You know, I purchased these. I've purchased everything I have from Adept, but they've just been very responsive, so I do appreciate that. So I will show you the mattes on my eyes, but I wanted to give you some thoughts initially. My experience with them is that I struggled to I struggle for them to build and hold their pigmentation. And again, this has been the best version to do that. And I've tried them with the ABH primer and the Smashbox eye primer. Now, let's dive into the diamond shades, which are really the ones that just... I just kept seeing them on people's eyes. I kept seeing them in people's stories. And this formula is so interesting because some of them are putty like. So you could, yeah, you can see like this shade right there, you can see my finger imprint. Some of these you can really see that as you dig into them, they're like a super shock shadow or just a creamy shadow. I'm very intrigued to see how they hold up over time. That green, y'all, and look how like that swatch just kept going and it like transferred completely, which is really nice. Again, I don't know how to do this pink, and again, I'm probably regretting saying this, but I'm gonna have I'll have their colors on the screen, the numbers, because everything with Adept is numbered, so it's ACM or ACD for the matte or the diamond formula, or ACS for shimmer. I did not buy any of the shimmers. If I'm being honest, so there was like one diamond shade that a couple of people highly recommended to me, and it was out of stock when I put in this order, but it was back in stock the other day, so I did order that one, and maybe a couple of other shades. Yeah, so I might have picked up some shimmers in that order, if I'm being honest. So there might be a follow-up to this video, but I was feeling a little like ready to film this, so I just decided to jump in and film. Oh yeah, you can see I actually just shoved my finger in one of these just now, and it like, oh, that's crazy how that looks on camera, because it looks blue to me but it looks purple on camera. So this is why I was so intrigued in trying these shadows, because some of these do feel a bit like a strong duochrome or multichrome, which is also going to tie into some of my thoughts on the diamonds. I know I'm getting kind of far down on this arm, but I have a big old arm, I might as well use it. Like, that's a beauty. And now I'm going to switch to the other arm. Some of these are just so creamy. Those are the swatches. I hope that's helpful. I don't know how Amy and Angelica and people do this, because this is a fucking challenge. So let me give you a couple of thoughts on the diamonds before I jump into the eye situation. So the diamond shadows, my experience so far, particularly with the more duochromatic shades, and I would say within my collection I have about 4 that kind of land in that, or almost multi-chromatic. So these 2 here, and then these 2, this one and this one here. With those, I have found that my Fiorne Pixie Epoxy is the best for that, because I was having a bit of a similar experience that I had with some other multi-chromes, where they would just kind of get eaten alive on my eyes, even with my glitter glue or my normal primer. So yesterday I tested it out and they held up pretty nicely. I didn't do as long of a wear test as some of my other eye looks, but it did hold up, and if there was creasing peeking out at like 3 or 4 hours, it was minimal. And the other time I wore them, maybe I had them on for 6 hours, but I feel like it was more like 4 hours, and it just like, they literally just got it eaten up by my eyes. So because I know myself and I'm probably going to use some of those shades on my lid, I will most likely be using this in the demo. some people, I'm sure, depending on your eye shape, you might just be able to get away with putting them on with like a damp brush, like a sprayed brush, or one of your normal eye primers. You might not even need glitter glue. It's just that with the shape of my eyes, because they are hooded, and they really, I mean, they're not maybe the most hooded, I'll zoom in, but they do fold over on each other. And so because of that shape, I really need something that's gonna hold it. Even when I do bring a shimmer above that fold, the constant contact is what makes it, I think, just like get kind of just go away somehow. So we're gonna jump in. I am, as per usual, gonna be doing a more two-toned eye look. We're gonna do something with pinks and purples and maybe a little bit of the blue on one eye, and then something with the greens and yellows on the other eye. I don't think I will use all of the shadows today, because 18 shadows on your eye, I mean, I could probably do it, but I will use quite a few. So a couple other things I've noticed with the diamond shades. So there are these super creamy ones, but there's a couple in here, well, they're creamy, but to me they don't quite have the same wow factor as some of the others. So like this shade over here at the very end, this like yellow green, I feel like is a little weaker. I think that, can I see everything? Not really. I think that like this, the blue brown, is definitely weaker. Really, it truly is some of the ones that don't have that like more emollient creamy texture. Here's the thing, is that they're all called diamond, but similar to how I've heard people critique the JD Glow Galaxy, and how I agree, there are multiple different Galaxy formulas within the Galaxy line, which can be confusing, and I feel like there are multiple different diamond formulas within the diamond line. Like, I think this one is really pretty, but it's really just like a glittery shimmer, whereas, you know, freaking the teal like multi-chrome, or maybe it's a duochrome, I don't know, but I just think that there are some different formulas, and I think that that can be a little confusing. Like, I'm obsessed with the green, but it's like, to me, a shimmer or a glittery shimmer, and not necessarily, and maybe that is what a diamond is, and maybe Adept could just rename some of these more of like duochrome or multi-chrome, because I do think that some of them are just very different than others. Generally speaking, I'm pretty happy with the Adept diamond formula the more I play with it. I think I just needed to stick with trust my gut, and like not necessarily pick up the more neutral shades. I was intrigued. So, you know, I learned. I'm gonna show them to you on the eyes, and maybe after I do my eyes, I'll have a little bit more thoughts or feelings, a little bit more energy one way or the other, and then we'll do a little wrap up at the end. Hey, you can't do that. Oh. No. No. Hey. No. I just put up that jewelry thing, and I was just waiting for one of the cats to play with it. And Tyrion is the first, of course. Okay friends, so here are my finished eye looks. As you can see, I went really intense. Now, I combined a lot of colors, a lot of shimmer on my eye. I realize that's not what everyone's gonna do, but I wanted to show you as many of the shadows performing together as I could, and it was a good reminder. So I'm gonna walk through some thoughts that came up as I was working with these shadows. Let's talk about the mattes again. I am gonna say, having this stickier white base has improved my opinion of the mattes. I'm still not super happy with how, in particular, the bright green and pink perform, because I feel like they still stay very sheer. With this eye, I was very particular about not bringing the darker green over too much, because the last time I did a similar blend out, what ended up happening is the darker green kind of just overwhelmed the neon green and I lost it completely. And with the pink, it is pretty. I guess I just wanted like just a little more punch, but again, this, I'm gonna say Adept, I do appreciate still that you gave me a refund for these shadows, because I wasn't happy with their quality, but this has helped dramatically. So I'm not sure if like there are other, I mean, I'm sure there are other white based eye primers, but I would say having something that's a little sticky and also having that pale base has really helped, because even the ABH primer, which is pretty white, wasn't enough. So that really helped. It's still not my favorite matte formula, but I'm glad that I know now how to work with it a little bit better. I haven't played with mixing these mattes with other mattes or anything like that, so I don't know how they're going to interact with other brands or anything like that. But I will say I'm happier now than I was a week ago with the matte formula. Now, with these diamond formulas, some of them are just so absolutely stunning. I would say like the more multi-chromatic ones that I have, I can pick them up with a brush. Even with my favorite brush for shimmers, the Rephr P21, which actually, because I'm a like nosy person, I asked Rephr about this brush and they said it's coming back sometime this month. They said July. I should follow up with them on that. It's my favorite brush for shimmers. It's like for every shimmer, glittery, multi-chrome, every kind of shadow that I've ever put it into, it always works. With these, they're so putty-like that it will pick it up, but I think it has a harder time laying it down on the eye. So with both of my looks, I ended up just going back in with my finger and applying more, because I think you need the pressure to like take it from the skin on your finger to the skin on your eye. Whereas the brush, I feel like you can't get that same pressure. So rather than wasting the product trying to pick it up and put it on and pick it up, particularly I would say for these two right here, I would say use your fingers. So I was talking about how, so some of the diamonds you definitely, I think, would want to use your finger to apply them. Other ones pick up beautifully on the brush. For the ones that I used today, and that I've used before, I think that these two pick up great on a brush. So does the white green one, the purple next to it for sure. This more silvery, slightly purple tone, and the pinky purple shimmer next to it. They all pick up on a brush great. These more grungy tones, I haven't put on my eyes yet, so I don't actually know how they pick up. I need to play with this one. I keep overlooking it, but the more I see it on my finger, this is a really pretty color. Okay, I need to shut up and play with that one. I would say if you're going to buy from Adept and you are not sure, and maybe my swatches didn't help that much because I don't blame you for feeling that way, I would definitely go on Instagram, look at pictures that Adept is tagged in. I know Julia K. March has done great swatches. I think Legally Black Beauty has done swatches. There's a lot of swatches out there. I would try to look for those. I would see if you can look at swatches that are in motion, because that's another critique. I don't think their website is the best representation of their shadows in both good and bad ways. Like, I think if they had more pictures showing the textures, especially how creamy and pliable they are, I feel like it's a really cool selling point to them. So I definitely see myself continuing to play in the diamonds a lot. Hey friends, I'm having battery charging issues, meaning I don't have any batteries charged and I just need to finish this fucking video. I'm not gonna say that every single diamond shadow in that I bought is super unique to my collection, but I think there are some special ones. If you already have a lot of singles, you may have some duplicates, but you may not. And I think their palette builder thing is pretty cool. I'm sorry, I don't have this on a tripod, I'm just holding it up, so I'm sure it's super shaky and terrible. On that note, thank you so much if you've hung out with me so far. I hope you are taking care of yourself. Thank you for spending a bit of a day with me, and I hopefully will see you again real soon. Bye friends. Thank you for dealing with my hot mess.